Good morning, or I guess afternoon. How are you?
Good morning.
Morning. Hi. Hi, everybody. We're just going to let everybody in. Everyone is muted on entry. So give us just a few minutes to get everybody going. It's good to see everybody. Hi, guys. Everybody, just be patient as we let everybody in. We've got lots of people joining us. You guys are all muted to start, just so you know. Not saying you can't talk to everybody, but just so that we don't have 100 people talking at once. You'll have some time to chat a little bit later. So let me let everybody in. We'll give everybody a couple more minutes to join. I always love seeing all of these faces on my screen. Most of you I've seen fairly recently, but some of you I haven't. I keep getting lots of ding dongs, so people waiting to get in. This is so exciting to see all these people. And just so you guys know, we are recording this. So, behave. All right, I'm gonna give it another couple of minutes. So y'all just be patient. Look how good that reception room looks. See you eating there, Paula. It's okay. It's a gorgeous day. I hope some of you get a chance to get out and enjoy it. Enjoy it today because it's not looking so good tomorrow. And give everybody just a couple more minutes and then we'll start. Just have to share with y'all, we finally got my daughter graduated. It was epic, like comedy events leading up to, I mean, it was canceled. They had a flat tire driving in. My garage door broke, so I couldn't get my car out to go pick them up. It thundered the whole time on the rescheduled, but she has graduated now after we had a few tears and some stress where it's all good. So congratulations to any of the rest of you that had kids or grandkids graduating. It's been quite the year for everybody.
Hmm.
And I know some of y'all were praying for me, so I appreciate that. Okay, it looks like we've got a really good crew. So, in the interest of y'all being on time.
I can't see you.
Oh, did somebody say something? You good? Okay. So since you guys are on time, I'm going to go ahead and start on time. So I am going to share my screen, a little presentation to share with you. I would, if you have questions in the middle, feel free to unmute and pop in, but I would appreciate it if you could just to hold the questions till the end, write it down and hold it. But if you just can't help yourself, that's totally fine. Because if you have a question, somebody else probably has the same question. So thank you guys all for being here. All right, let's get this show on the road. All right. So we are going to go ahead and I'm just going to say a really, really quick prayer just to kick us off. Heavenly Father, thank you for assembling this team today. These are individuals who truly are hands and feet of Jesus and who really are doing your work here in the Kansas City area as we continue to try to provide the essentials for those who are being rehomed. Be with us as we go through our day-to-day, have everyone with open hearts and open minds, and be with us as we leave the meeting today as well. In your name we pray, amen. Okay. Well, got a few more people I got to let in, sorry. Okay. So welcome. We are going to have a really quick overview today of, if I we're going to start with an operational update. So obviously you guys are all well aware that we've kind of had our challenges with COVID last year and then moving into 2021 this year. But I want to just take a few minutes to make sure that you guys have a really good understanding of where we've been, where we are, and kind of where we're going. So thanks for joining us today for that. So the first thing that I want to kind of just do a really quick review on, and I want to let you guys know that this page is available to anybody that wants it. If you want to have a hard copy to take a look at, this is our short overview of our annual report for 2020. So this is information that we'll be sharing with people who are interested in when we're applying for grants, when we're having conversations about potential procurement partners, agency partners, those types of things. So this is just a really quick recap and overview of what we did and were able to accomplish in 2020. So you'll see that there is some financial information there. It's just kind of some general information related to how our expenses fell and how our income came in terms of the categories in which that happened. So you'll see that for what we do, 87.3% of everything that we spend is directly related to the program that we run. So there's very few administrative costs, only 2.6%, and then we've got about a 10% cost for our Gathering Hope. And what Gathering Hope means is that essentially is our trucks. It's the cost to insure, fuel, repair, all of that kind of stuff in terms related to our fleet. So I'm really, really proud of our ability to kind of keep all of our expenses really focused on what we need to be focused on, and that is serving the clients that we serve. And we've done a phenomenal job being able to procure most of those items, and that's really with the help of a lot of you. From an income perspective, I just wanted to share, I mean, we were able to write and successfully receive some grants last year, which was a huge challenge. So many of the foundations and funders that we would have typically gone to kind of cut off a lot of their funding or were exclusively focused on COVID related funding. And much of that we did not actually kind of fit into the category initially of emergency relief. So I was really pleased with our team's ability to 11.4% of our income did come from grants. 36.6% came from individual contributions. So that's you guys, your friends, organizations that you share with us, that type of thing. So 36% of our income came from that. We are able to receive some income from the services that we are providing. It is a small percentage of the income that comes in, but that's intentional. We want to make sure that our services are available to the masses. So that's only 5.4% of the funding. 1.2% from our recycle and resale program. So a huge shout out and kudos to those of you who help us and make that happen and make sure that those items are getting out so that we get those additional funds in. And then 45% comes from foundations. A big bulk of that right now is the Church of the Resurrection funding us, but we have some other foundation funding as well. And then on the second page is just really kind of a highlight related to just kind of, what we do and how we do it. So again, we're able to continue to maintain our 98% of items coming in being reused, repurposed, or recycled. We had about 94.6 tons of items that we diverted from landfills. And that honestly is probably much higher. There are some things that we're continuing to evaluate to say that we're probably not tracking the way that we should. So that number is probably considerably higher. Our clients continue to feel like coming to us is a blessing. The case managers that we speak with and the clients that we speak with, I mean, we are the only furniture bank in Kansas City. And so this really is the only opportunity for those that we serve to really be able to come in and have this type of dignified shopping experience. And so then there's some information here on why folks come to see us. And this is kind of interesting to look at from year to year. And I'll just point out that there were a few items or a few kind of categories that increased this year, in 2020, which is not a huge surprise. The reentry from prison, the domestic violence and mental illness numbers all went up between 2 and 6% from the previous year. But when you consider everything that happened with the pandemic and people being stuck at home, that's not really that surprising. But that just gives you a little bit of an idea of those clients that are coming to us from all of those agencies across the city, some of the reasons for why they were homeless and moving into self-sufficiency now. And then there's a chart here that just shows kind of the length of homelessness. And that again, really speaks to, it kind of ties in with those underlying reasons. You'll see that a large percentage of those that we serve, 36%, were homeless between 4 and 12 months. What that means is most of those folks were probably in some kind of either transitional housing program, whether it be alcohol and drug abuse or violence or something like that. So that's really a large number of our clients are coming to us through that transitional housing programs. So I just wanted to really quickly just share kind of that overview with you. If you guys have additional questions, want more details, I can be available. Madison has a full report that is available on our website that you can click through that's going to give you some more details. So I just want to mention the website really has almost all the information you could possibly want. We're trying to make sure everything is out there for everybody to see. So if you can't find something on there, let us know, because you really should be able to. And then I do want to go back to the first page, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about volunteers later, but our value of volunteer labor in 2020 was over $300,000. You guys are amazing. That was over 10,600 hours of volunteer hours. And that's with us being closed 8 weeks and having a significant reduction in capacity. So those of you that stuck with us during that time, thank you, thank you, thank you. So appreciative of being able to continue to serve even during the time that a lot of folks were at home due to safety precautions related to COVID. Okay. So now I want to move into where we are for this year, for 2021. So, and this is probably going to be small, and I apologize. I'm just going to call out a couple of highlights for you guys, just so that you can kind of see. We are continuing to see our average household size being in that 2 to 4 range for the most part. That has been on trend since we became Flourish and have moved to Grandview. Prior to that, when we were at my father's house, that was not the case. We were really, really heavily slanted toward the individuals or 2-person households. And so we continue to see an increase in the needs of the items that we have just because our family size continues to increase. This is just an overview of all of the agencies that we're working with, and kind of, you can see at the top who kind of our heavy hitters are. So even though we have about 60 agencies we work with, a good only probably 1/4 of them really are consistently every single month making referrals. And you'll see Avenue of Life, Truman Med, Journey to New Life, which this is kind of ties into that reasons. This is one of those reentry from prison programs that we only started working with in the last 18 months. But they're seeing a huge uptick, and it's so exciting to know that we're able to contribute to the success of those who are reentering. Restart, Metro Lutheran Ministry, Rose Brooks, Rediscover, Wyandotte, Salvation Army, Safe Home, and Rediscover kind of round out the top like heavy hitters of who we're seeing. But again, that information is available. If anybody wants details on that, we're happy to share any of that information if you want to be able to kind of just scour through that a little bit on your own. This is a chart that just kind of shows a general overview of where we are year to date. And it's going to have, and this information we get monthly. And I'm going to give a special shout out to Bill Lay for making all of this happen for us and in a way that you can see it and it looks really pretty. I dump everything into a spreadsheet and he works his magic and makes all of this stuff look fantastic. Not without a few headaches, so I apologize, Bill. He knows I just have to keep him busy. But anyway, so this will just give an overview. So this is a really nice way to kind of take a look and see, okay, how many households did we serve? And this is, you see 2020 on the left and you'll see 2021 on the right. So you can see where we are kind of this year to date compared to last year. Another thing that I like to use this for is if you see this, and I know it's probably small on your screen, but looking at the beds and bed frames, that is one way that we can kind of look in terms of where do we look for procurement options. So we can look on here and see that in 2020, the number of beds is in kind of that orange color and the number of frames is in that blue color. So you can see there's a discrepancy. So that helps us as we're writing grants and looking to procurement partners to be able to say our fill rate on this particular item doesn't the capacity. And so we're able to say, okay, we're only at 64% on bed frames. So we know we need to go out and figure out a way to get bed frames so that we're sure that they're not having a mattress on the floor, right? So this is just a really quick overview that helps us to kind of tell that story. Okay, and I know a lot of you are really always very concerned with financials and financially, how sound are we and where are we? So I wanted to just share with you our financials, both from 2020 and where we are currently year to date. And again, I'm really pleased with our ability to be able to come through the pandemic in the positive and setting ourselves up moving forward to be able to begin starting to set aside some cash reserves. So you can see there we netted a $74,907 last year. Right now we are sitting with cash reserves at a little over $200,000 with our overall budget this year at $355,783. So if there's additional information you guys want on that, you can reach out to myself. Rich Klein is the treasurer of the board, so we're always happy to share any specific information that you guys or questions you might have about that. But I just wanted to share that we are sitting in a good position. We're not super comfortable because we've obviously got a lot of, our rent comes in every month and all of that kind of stuff. So we need to continue to work to build for those grants and funding to come in. And I just want to say a thank you to those of you volunteers that have sent along kind of some leads to us in that regard. It's been super, super helpful. There's been several things that we've been able to financially benefit from because of a lead that's one of you sent us. A couple of examples would be Paula House's daughter works for Mariner. We've gotten 2 years in a row, $5,000 grants from them. Bob Day just sent us something from State Farm that we're going to apply for. Through Jean Lampy's assistance at Garmin, we received $25,000 last year. And we just received a grant from the Rotary, Overland Park Rotary, which was a result of David Austin's initiation. So there's those kind of things. So you guys continue to do that, have conversations, share that information with us. We'll do all of the obviously the legwork and getting those grants written and things done. But you bringing those to us is phenomenal. Also, just want to remind you, matching funds are out there. So there's a couple of volunteers that have done that over the course of the last 18 months, either through volunteer hours that are paid. So Jeremy Larson, for example, works for John Deere. They pay him for all of the hours that he works. So we get a check every month for his volunteer hours. There's also matching out there for different organizations and companies. So for example, Bernadette Witter recently made a donation that was then matched by her company. So be looking for those kind of things as well that really just become kind of easy ways for us to continue to put a few dollars in the bank account. Okay, so that is the financial update. And now I want to move into where we are at with COVID. I know there's still a lot of questions around what this looks like. the board and I continue to monitor and really kind of working through what is Jackson County recommending and what is the CDC recommending, and we will follow that at this point. So what that means for us right now is they have said that those who have been vaccinated can be unmasked. We are not the mask police. We are not asking for anyone to show us proof. We are going on the honor system with that. But for those of you who wish to be unmasked, if you've been vaccinated while volunteering, you are more than welcome to do that. The caveat to that is we are still going to ask our clients and case managers and shoppers, because of they're walking together in close proximity. We're not asking for vaccination records. We don't know who they've been exposed to. So for the immediate time being, we are going to ask that those groups remain masked while working together while they're doing that shopping experience. So I hope that makes everybody feel comfortable. Again, you're welcome to wear a mask. We're going to continue to offer, sanitizing. We're still going to be cleaning. We're still going to be doing as much as we can to keep everybody safe. And we want everyone to feel comfortable, but we also want everyone to feel like they are able to start kind of coming out of this again. So again, we are following the Jackson County and CDC guidelines related to masking and social distancing. Right now, the reception area is remaining closed, again, just as an extra precaution, just to keep the numbers down in terms of who's coming in the building. We will continue to do case manager orientation via Zoom. It's been really successful. We've seen a lot larger number of case managers that way. It also just reduces the number of folks that are coming in. So we are continuing to try to monitor that, just again, to keep everybody feeling really good and safe and not having really large groups in the building at any one time right now. Okay, so now I want to move into our volunteers, and I'm going to just, these are our top volunteers, our super flourish volunteers, and this is year to date through April. Anyone these are the folks who have volunteered more than 125 hours so far this year. So these are the core folks that are really keeping everything running right now. And you can see that number is pretty small. And so they are shouldering a lot of work and have taken a lot of accountability and responsibility. And because I know they're passionate about what we do, and I'm so thankful. So I wanted to make sure that I called them out. You'll see also a large majority of them really are kind of departments that are a little bit behind the scenes. So they're going to, they're working in dish packing, they're working in woodworking, they're working in, kind of working out in the parking lot, and they're also doing a lot of driving trucks and moving furniture. What we don't see a lot of here, with the exception, well, there's a few shoppers on here that also are working in some of those other areas. But that leads, so thank you. So make sure you're tracking your hours. That's also how the only way that we can do this is to know that you are, if you're working at home, that you're logging that from home, and when you're coming in, that you're checking in on the service system. So make sure that you are tracking those hours as well. So that leads me to the next piece of information related to volunteers. You guys are our best advocates. You're there because you love it. There's something that keeps you coming back. There's something that has you on this call today. And so really, you're our best advocate to continue to recruit. I do want to tell you that we are doing our part. We are posting on social media. We're putting things in the newsletter. I've got things on AERP. I've got things at 3 different local Kansas City volunteer organizations. We are putting things at Nonprofit Connect. We're putting our needs out there in as many but the reality is the most successful volunteer recruitment comes from individual invitation. And so you guys really are our best advocates for that. So I just want to point out a couple of things. So as you're having conversations with friends and family, you can maybe, help us increase that number of our super volunteers. So for the Holy Haulers, I am very sad to say that we may have to cancel home pickups in June. At this point, I don't have any full teams to go out in June. And if we can't do those home pickups, I mean, that is kind of the bread and butter of where we get a lot of our stuff. Now, we've been really lucky to partner with some great organizations like Junk King. Avenue of Life brings things to us. 1-800-GOT-JUNK, of course, Crowley Furniture. Some of those we've picked up from some hotels recently, as well as some estate sales. But we really want to be able to maintain this home pickup option. So if anybody that you know may have an interest or the ability to do that, have them please reach out to me. There is no special license required. It is a box truck, and they do have to have a DOT medical exam, which we will pay for. The Holy Haulers schedule right now is typically Monday evening and Saturday morning. But if we can get a team of 2 people together that wants to go out on a different day and time, we can schedule that at whatever is going to work for that team. So again, if you would just be sharing that and thinking about whether or not you know somebody that might be willing to do that, because right now, the last I heard from Steve, we are going to have to cancel all of our scheduled pickups, which breaks my heart. The second thing that I want to bring up to you guys, because there may be somebody sitting on this call that could very easily slide into this role. So Paula, of course, all of you know and love, is our operations director at the warehouse, and she really needs to be free to manage. And right now she's kind of tied to the desk. So if there's anyone who is interested in being a weekday floor captain, have a conversation with either Paula or myself. This is essentially kind of, keeping the paperwork together, checking things in on the computer, and getting the clients initially checked in. And that will really allow Paula to be a little more free to make sure that all the departments have what they need and that things are flowing in the way that they should be flowing. So right now that would be Tuesday and Thursday are the main needs for that individual. And then, of course, all of our shopping days, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, we are still in need of shoppers. Tying in with that, we are still hoping to increase our capacity. We have a need from our organizations that are asking for another weekday. We would love to be able to do that on Wednesday, but we need a good core group of people to say every Wednesday they're going to be there, in all those departments, in the shopping, in the sorting, in the picking, and the packing, and the loading. So again, that as you guys are talking to other people and trying to do some recruitment, if there are some smaller groups that might be willing to come in 1 Wednesday a month, 2 Wednesdays a month, have a conversation with myself or Paula about that. And then finally, I just want to say our support departments, dish packing, sewing, woodworking, electrical testing, these departments have been really strong and through the pandemic and beyond. And they've been very consistent, very resourceful and creative. I think most of you have heard some of our fun stories about the bed frames that came from the hotel that got turned into tables. We needed dining tables for our clients, and our woodworking guy said, we don't need these headboards, but we can use every part, every screw, every bracket to make dining tables. Our electrical testing folks have been some resourceful in working with our sewing group. And so in the winter, we had some king size electric blankets that we were able to cut down and make into twin XLs. And so the combination between our sewing department and our electrical testing guys getting that project off and going. So there's those kind of things that have continued to happen. So I just want to do a shout out and a thank you for those teams to being very consistent and keeping things moving. Okay, so the next thing I want to mention to you is some fun things that we have coming up. I want to make sure you guys mark your calendars and join us to participate. June 5th, we will not be doing client services that day. Instead, we will have a donation drop-off event. This was really kind of initially designed because we were having such a lull in our ability to do pickups that it's been ongoing for a few months, but we've had a few drivers that fell off for the summer. So we're hopeful that we can bring people to Grandview to do that drop off. In the small print, we are advertising we will be at the church as well. So the church is still a great partner, but we really want to get people coming to Flourish rather than coming to the church. So that donation drop off event will happen between 9 and noon. We need everybody on site for that. Our hope is to get things offloaded, and the intake and processing and stocking and sorting all happening at the same time so that we are able to kind of get, not have a big mess of stuff that has to get sorted the following week, but really having enough people on site to do that. So everybody on site, I have advertised through the church for some additional volunteers and drivers to assist us at the church. So once a truck there is full, we'll be bringing it over to unload at Grandview. So if you guys can be at Flourish June 5th, that's fantastic. June 6th, we have our first fundraising event for 2021. And we are going to be at Topgolf. It will be from 3 to 6 p.m. There's all kinds of information available on our website. There is a specific tab for the Topgolf event on the website, but there's the ability for you to just come and have dinner, and that's $50. You can come and play and have dinner, and that's $166. There are sponsorship availabilities. If you would like to sponsor, be a beverage sponsor, be a client essential sponsor, just a general bay sponsor. So there's lots of opportunities, but we would love for you to come out and join us for that event. We'd love to fill Topgolf with a bunch of folks from Flourish. We've got tons of really great raffle basket and silent auction items. So shout out to our fundraising team who worked on that. That information, that link to all of those items is on the website as well. So take a look and see if you want to try your hand at winning, one of those items. And then finally, on June 26th, we will be doing a volunteer appreciation event. And you know what? I am so sorry. I should have gone through all of my slides as I was talking, but I got so excited. So side note, here's the spring drop-off event information. Again, available on the website. Here's our Topgolf event. All right, and here's information on our volunteer appreciation. So Ruth Higginbotham and Becky Larson will be leading up this event, but we will be at Island Park in Leawood on the 26th of June from 4 to 9. So more information will be coming. I will tell you that I have purchased some fun gifts. So you'll want to be there to receive your gift. This is just going to be a great time for us to get together and fellowship and enjoy each other's company outside of the busyness of what happens when we're at the warehouse. So mark your calendars for June 26th. Okay, so I know this is why you guys are all here today. You really didn't care. You're really here for the staff updates, and I know that. So we're going to get to that now. But before we do, any comments or questions about the previous information I shared before we move into staff updates? Okay. All right. So first off, we have Madison Hadler. And Madison, most of you have met, but if you have not, she is with us as a Vista intern. So there is a program through the Kansas City Library through AmeriCorps Vista. And this is a capacity building opportunity, both for the individual as well as for the organization. So we advertise with AmeriCorps looking for a couple of different folks this year. And Madison has joined us as our communications and marketing coordinator. So her role, I just want to make sure that everybody has a clear understanding of roles. So her role really is website design, maintenance, social media, and other marketing type things. So she worked really hard on getting the annual report together with myself and Barbie Patterson and the board. And so she's done a phenomenal job. I'm going to actually allow her, if you want to unmute Madison and say a couple words to everybody.
Yeah. Hi guys. We're in the reception room, so I got some other people with me. But hi, yeah, I'm Madison. I've been working here since January. Making some fun stuff to be on our social media, try to get our word and our name out a little bit more. Yeah, it's been exciting. It's been fun. So thank you guys. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, everything.
So Madison is, she's got us on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn. We were on Facebook already. And am I forgetting something?
Twitter and LinkedIn.
Twitter, yes, yes. So Madison hit a milestone this week on Instagram. We now have
200 followers.
And where did we start, Madison?
We started at like, I'm pretty sure it was 20. So there we go, 4 months.
So again, I mean, the marketing and communications, all the social media, that kind of stuff, really increasing our awareness across the Kansas City area is going to be really, really good for us from a recruiting perspective for volunteers, as well as for other organizations and foundations to really learn who we are. So she's been doing a phenomenal job of kind of getting us out there in front of other people. And we'll continue to do that on our behalf. So thank you. And well, we're so excited to have you. Okay, so the next person that I'm going to introduce to you is actually not on the call today, but it is Eleanor Noyes, and she is also a Vista intern, and she's coming to us to work as a fundraising coordinator. So her role will really be to work very closely with the executive director and the board member that is currently working on fundraising and grants, which is Barbie Patterson. And so she'll be doing some things related to fundraising in a lot of capacities, one of which a big role will be doing grant writing, but she'll also be doing some other fundraising things like events. So she'll be participating in the Top Golf event. She'll be doing some passive fundraising things. So like we did with Kendra Scott recently, or we've done some of the like Smash Burger and some of those things. So she'll be kind of overseeing all of the projects related to bringing some fundraising in. So she had a previously scheduled vacation before she started. So she did start 2 weeks ago. So we've been doing a little bit of onboarding. So some of you may have seen her, but I'm just going to read a little bit about her bio. Eleanor is an artist and writer who is passionate about helping others. She graduated from the Kansas City Art Institute with a double major in ceramics and art history last year. In addition to sculpting with clay, plastic, and recycled objects, she sees writing and research as a part of her artistic practice. She will apply her creative background to expand Flourish Furnishings capabilities, writing grants, organizing events, and collaborating with community partners. So if you guys see her, she'll be back June 2nd. And so she will be she'll be primarily in her computer doing a lot of research and trying to identify grant and fundraising opportunities for us. But make sure you welcome her when you see her. Okay, we have a new executive director that I am very happy to announce. And I am going to actually stop sharing my screen now so that he can come on, and I will let him introduce himself. He will be starting June 1st. I will be working with him through the month of June and transitioning. And I am very, very excited for the possibilities and what's going to be happening with a full-time executive director. You guys know I love, love, love Flourish. I'm gonna cry. It is my baby, it's my heart and soul, but it needs this next step. So I'm gonna let him talk.
Oh, Michelle, thank you so much. My goodness, it's so good to see all of you. We have such a great crowd, and it is so very nice to meet you all. Yes, hello. So my name's Rich, and I've been in nonprofit for a little over 20 years. My last 7, I've served as executive director for an employee care service and chaplaincy program. So I have some experience in that area. I love what Flourish does. I'm so passionate about the mission. When I just first learned about what Flourish is and what it does, I thought this is something that I want to be a part of. And to learn that we're the only furniture bank in Kansas City is mind blowing to me. And I'm really excited to help us continue to get the word out to help Kansas City know about who we are and what we do. Thanks to you for what you do and your contributions and your care and love and service to this work. It is clear just from looking at my screen, I have the whole gallery view up to see all of you. And it's just, it's a reminder that this work is done together. So excited to be here. Thank you to Michelle and crew, Paula and Madison, Eleanor, and the board for the warm welcome. You all have just been wonderful and hospitable to me. So thank you. I look forward to getting to know all of you in the days ahead.
All right. So we don't want to like fire hydrant Rich too much. So during the transition, most of any questions and stuff will continue to come to me, at least for the first few weeks into June, because we want to make sure that we're spending time really getting him onboarded properly and understanding our systems and processes and learning who the different teams are and that kind of thing. So I'll continue to kind of manage some of the day-to-day stuff for the first couple weeks, but we'll let you know when that transition becomes a little bit more formal. So he does have an email that is active. Don't bombard him, but it is like mine. It's rich@flourishfurnishings.org. And he does have an office phone number that is set up, and Rich is at 01. Do you remember? We'll get that to you guys later.
I don't.
Paula's saying yes.
Okay. So his number I will put in the chat. And that will be active June 1st as well. So Rich will be officing at Flourish. We are going to be doing a little bit of moving things around. So for those of you who have been there recently, the office that Madison has been in will be transitioning that to Rich. The Vista girls will be creating some space in the reception area with some mobile walls and kind of rearranging that space a little bit so they can be there. And then of course, Paula has her office behind the reception area. So there's a few little changes that'll be happening logistically to kind of make room for our expansion, but it's so exciting that we're going to have some dedicated people that are going to really be able, I think, to kind of continue to move the needle for what we've established as a really good starting point. So at this point, it is time for us to wrap up unless anybody has anything they just cannot hold off asking or commenting about.
Yes. Yes. Can you ask Christy? I thought I seen her on this Zoom call.
Yes.
Well, she would be willing to show herself so I can put a face to the name.
So there are a few behind the scenes people, that a lot of people may not know. So that's great, Barney. Thank you. So Christy Wells, and I don't know if Steve Smith is on, but they are.
He's having trouble joining.
Okay. So
there's Christy.
Yeah. Hi.
And
Is that Barney?
Yeah.
Hi, Barney. Nice to meet you.
Well, but it's
the
not
rest
just
of
for
you.
me. The rest of them.
all our logistics and truck scheduling. So they are behind the scenes. So yeah, most of you probably have not seen her face.
Yeah.
She looked familiar.
Thank you.
So
Welcome, Rich. And Michelle, I'm sure it'll be a big loss for us, but it looks like Rich is ready to go. So that's exciting.
all right, guys. So we did record this video. So if there are folks that you know that were not able to get on, we will be sending an email out through the volunteer system service that will have a link to this later today. So thank you guys for being on. We're looking forward to where we're going. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. We love you.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Don't forget Saturday is Memorial Day, so we will be closed.
Closed on Saturday.
Oh.